Consumers in China have just voted on their favorite electric car brand. And honestly, the results shocked me. I really did not expect the result. In general, Chinese consumers are considered to be extremely brand conscious. In fact, very brand focused. And when they comes to brands, that generally means they like premium brands. However, the number one placed position for the most popular EV brand in China, and I'm not talking about here the highest selling brand, I'm talking about just the most popular brand, just brand, is not at all a premium manufacturer. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Electric Viking. Fantastic to see you. Hope you've had an awesome day. Thank you for subscribing and joining the channel, joining the movement. It's great to have you here on board. There's been a few thousand new subscribers over the last week alone. Fantastic to see you. Welcome to the channel. Now, I just want to make a big thank you here, big shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you for donating to the channel, for supporting. It means a huge amount. You can contact me at any time and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can about anything you have any questions about. If you want to join up and become a Patreon on the channel, I'll put a link in the description below and you can click that link and it's pretty easy to do. Now, thank you also to those of you who have become members of the channel. If you become a member, you get access to some of our videos 24 hours in advance. So I'll get straight to it. The number one most popular brand, EV brand in China is BYD, believe it or not. The funny thing is, 12 months ago, you couldn't even call them an EV brand. Sure, they made some EVs, but they most certainly were not an EV brand. The majority of their cars were not EVs that they were selling. In fact, a year ago, they really weren't much of an EV company at all. In fact, the majority of their sales were petrol and hybrid. Now, well, in the month of October, they sold 90,000 cars in China, 91,000. Of those, more than 80,000, about 82,000, were plug-in hybrids and electric cars. 43,000 of those were fully electric vehicles, and the remainder, around 40,000, were plug-in hybrids. So what's happened with BYD is that within a space of 12 months, they've completely transitioned from basically a petrol, hybrid, and some electric car company into an electric and hybrid car only company, which has been quite an incredible transformation. Now, if you haven't invested in BYD, well, you pretty much should. I've got a new video coming soon on different ways you can invest in them because it's not easy for people who are not in the United States or in China to invest in the company. If you're in America, well, jump on board. The company is massively undervalued. I know the PE is enormous. It's ridiculous. It's over 200. You're probably thinking, well, yeah, but they're not undervalued because the price to earnings is over 200. But I'm telling you now, they are enormously undervalued. I believe they'll become one of the world's largest manufacturers, one of the top 3 largest by 2030. Why? Well, remember, they are currently, I believe, the 3rd largest battery manufacturer in the world, possibly the 2nd by the end of this year. Now, where is this information coming from? Well, it's coming from a survey by Bernstein that was done recently within the last few weeks in China. In second place is Tesla. Third on the list is Volkswagen. So how many people were actually spoken to about this survey? It was about 2,000 respondents. Most of those surveyed lived in China's largest cities with an average of 32 years old and a monthly income of $2,970. Now, about half of the respondents said that they will consider buying an electric vehicle for their next car purchase. And they noted that consumer preferences for lower operating costs, a better driving experience, and environmental friendliness. In other words, they basically said EVs are better. Now in China, remember, you can buy an EV for the same price as a petrol vehicle. And this is one of the key reasons why electric cars are so extremely popular right now in China. In fact, around 17% of all cars sold in September and October in China were fully electric vehicles. Now, intent to buy an electric car from a Chinese startup like NIO or Xpeng doubled this year to around 10% of those surveyed, up from around 5% for the last few years. Now, NIO is a premium electric car manufacturer, so I expected it to rank potentially number one here because it's probably the most aspirational brand in China for electric cars. Their cars are quite expensive. Xpeng also makes premium cars, not quite at the level in terms of perception of NIO though. So Chinese startups ranked first in the upper mass and premium segment of the electric car market, which covers cars costing at least $23,400. And the next most favored in that segment was Tesla, who came in second place again, followed by premium German brands like BMW and Audi, the survey found. Now, in China, you are not actually allowed to manufacture cars by yourself. So if BMW wants to make electric cars in China, they have to actually join up with a local Chinese car company and go into a 50-50 joint partnership. So all cars sold in China are manufactured in China. Well, almost all of them anyway. The only car company who's exempt from these rules is Tesla, who didn't have to enter into a joint partnership in China to build their cars there. Now, the interesting thing is that whilst vehicles made by BMW, Toyota, Honda, Mercedes, and General Motors are all quite very popular in China, none of those companies actually make EVs. In fact, they do make EVs, but only a very, 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 very small number. And in China, the fastest growing market segment by a million miles are electric cars. What does this mean for manufacturers in the world's largest car market? Legacy manufacturers like Toyota, BMW, all those car manufacturers we just talked about. It basically means that they're kind of screwed because they're not actually making cars that people want to buy right now. So like I said, China is the world's largest auto market. For example, Volkswagen generates about 41% of its sales volumes in China, according to Goldman Sachs. So for example, this shows you that quite a number of mainstream legacy auto manufacturers are extremely dependent upon China, the world's largest auto market, for their sales. However, they're obviously in big trouble because they're not making many EVs at all in China. Fortunately, though, for Volkswagen, they have started manufacturing EVs in China, and the ID family of cars has become very, very popular within the last few months. Volkswagen sold 14,000 electric vehicles in China in the month of October alone. Now, Porsche actually count China as its largest market, and it reported 11% growth in the first 3 quarters of the year from the same period 1 year ago. During that time, on a global basis, the German luxury automaker said its recently introduced electric Taycan model outsold its flagship 911 sports car. The Taycan, being an electric vehicle, has been extremely popular in China. Now, in other recent electric auto news, China's Geely on Monday just launched a new electric semi-truck as automakers look to bring new technology to the commercial vehicle market. However, it won't be released until about 2024, so Tesla have a few years head start there. You're probably wondering, head start? What do you mean they haven't even made them yet? Well, interestingly enough, Tesla actually are going to be delivering their first electric semi-trucks before the end of this year. So finally, we're going to see some Tesla electric trucks on the road. Now, thank you for watching the video, for subscribing and liking, and I hope you've learned something today. I find it very interesting that BYD was ranked the #1 most popular brand for electric cars in China. What do you think about this? Is this something you would have expected to happen? What is your most popular electric car brand? If you could buy any electric car, what would it be? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you again on the next one. Bye-bye.